Is it hard for you to trust patrons now since your videos have leaked too? Not really. The person who leaked the videos, it was very obvious that, like, as soon as I saw it, I figured they were going to leak, and I should have just taken them down. But somebody pledged and then pulled their pledge, like, pretty much immediately, and I thought to myself, like, yeah, that person's probably up to something. And yeah, it is, like, it's hard to, like, trust people for sure, I will say. But I think that people, like, I typically get a pretty good feel about people. Like, there are people who I, like, typically, like, know that they're not being genuine. Not always, but most of the time I do, and I just, like, don't talk to them a whole lot. I've had that issue with a few patrons where, like, you know, I just could tell that they were fishing for things or drama or whatever, and I just kind of was like, okay, like, I hope it's a good day. I was never mean to them, but I just, you know, I don't want to play into that. But it's like, okay, I do want to talk about this for a second. So, yes, as most of you I'm sure have seen, like, my house tour from Patreon leaked, and apparently this is proof that we are not having financial problems. And that makes literally no sense, because, okay, here's my big thing about this. Greg posted a house tour, like, on YouTube. Thank you, Merlin. Greg posted a house tour on YouTube, like, 3 months ago, something like that. Thank you, Nina. And nobody said anything about it then. Like, nobody was like, thank you, Delicate Doll. Nobody was like, oh, you're scamming people, blah, blah, blah. But now that it's my house tour and I posted it on Patreon, people are like, oh, they have, you know, a nice house, so therefore they don't have financial issues. And there was no correlation there, because we bought this house when we were financially stable and before Adpocalypse and before the IRS and all of that stuff. It's not like I went and bought this house last week. We had this house paid off, and we had to go and remortgage it because of pending financial stress. People with money problems, foosball tables. Yes, I already talked about this. The foosball table that is new, we got for free. We did not pay for that. Just like the pool table we have was here when we moved in. We didn't pay for that. Mostly everything that we have that is not business related, we got for free, or it was a gift. But, like, my house has nothing to do with, like, the size of my house. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're being audited or the fact that Adpocalypse happened, because that wasn't something any of us expected. So it's really silly. So I'm financially stable right now because I bought my Louis V bag 4 years ago. Exactly. Like, there's no correlation. And if you guys want to think that, that's fine. But I mean, for the most part, I've, like, seen, like, it hasn't, like, you know, I don't have a bunch of people like, wow, you scammed me. Didn't you get that house like 2-3 years ago? Yeah, we bought this house in 2015. So way before Adpocalypse happened. And like I said, we thank you, Hannah, for 100 bars. We had bought the set last year, and we ended up selling that because of financial problems. And we used that money from the set to pay off the rest of this house so that we wouldn't have a mortgage. But based on what we think might happen with the IRS, we ended up remortgaging the house because we were worried that we would need a cushion. So, yeah. Why don't you downgrade your house if so many of the rooms are unused? Really, no rooms are unused. Most stuff is used for, like, recording. And then we have 2 guest rooms, but Greg also records in those. How are you? I wouldn't talk about money stuff. Well, I mean, Greg, I'm not saying anything Greg hasn't already said, so.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date on your favorite streamers. We'll argue later.